Many people use the term spirituality to refer to activities such as meditation, yoga, fortune telling, praying, going to church, or just being religious. Others think that it is about self-affirmation and seeking to fulfill my internal desires. But I put it to you that spirituality is none of these and something different entirely. Stick around for a new perspective. Welcome to another episode of New Perspectives, where we share with you new ways of looking at a range of spiritual concepts. Thank you for being open to hear my message today, and I hope you find this video series helpful for your own personal spiritual journey, whatever your beliefs may be. Let me start by asking you a few questions. Do you believe spirituality is an activity, or that engaging in any particular activity makes one more spiritual, such as yoga or meditation? Do you believe being spiritual is seeking to become holy, enlightened, or wise? Do you consider a drive to fulfill your innermost desires by various activities to be spirituality? To me, spirituality and being a spiritual person has little to do with a particular activity, but everything to do with the attitude or mindset that we bring to the activities that we perform. Having to do with the spirit, we must first accept, therefore, that we have a spirit, which Swedenborg describes as being our mind. And if we are to be spiritual, we must recognize and accept that there is a metaphysical reality or spiritual world, and that this reality is intrinsically connected with us right now. We must also accept that this spiritual reality is ruled or guided by specific spiritual qualities, such as good and truth, or love and wisdom, and that our efforts here have an effect on our spirit and therefore long-term consequences. Let us have a look at a couple of scriptural references and quotes about the Spirit. In John we read, "It is the Spirit who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak to you are spirit and they are life." God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. And finally, the kingdom of God does not come with observation. The kingdom of God is within you. Swedenborg tells us that our feelings and thoughts, and thus our spirit, is not in space and time, and that we can be intimately present with others in feelings and in thoughts. This then means that thinking from the perspective of space and time, and such as an activity in the natural world, has nothing to do with spirituality and being spiritual. But thinking from what is infinite and eternal or real is. In True Christian Religion we read, "The reason angels and spirits have such powers of being present is that every affection of love, and so every thought of the understanding, is non-spatially in space and non-temporally in time." Space and time have nothing to do with this presence, because a feeling and its consequent thought are not in space and time, and spirits and angels are feelings and their consequent thoughts. He goes on in Divine Providence, this leads us to the conclusion that we should think about what is infinite and eternal, and therefore about the Lord non-temporally and non-spatially. To me, therefore, spirituality is not an activity, but an active principle of loving good and truth in your life, and affirming this as being due to what is infinite and eternal, in other words, outside of space and time. This I call the divine, but it goes by many other names, such as Allah, Brahma, Bayame, Jehovah, God, Creator, etc. Being a spiritual person, therefore, is not the result of an activity that you perform, but it's a state of mind. Being constantly mindful of the quality that underpins our actions and seeking to affirm and embrace what is real and eternal, the source of all that is good and true. It is therefore looking outside of itself for how it can contribute towards effecting this good, such as being useful, loving and truthful. By affirming, therefore, and living in accordance with these eternal principles of goodness and truth, we will also become free from material anxieties, therefore realizing our internal desires and attain enlightenment, even though that this ought not to be our primary concern. Thank you very much. Hope you liked this video. Please share, leave comments below, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.